Hello and happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm really excited about today's topic. Welcome to the Dental Startup Journey. I'm your host, Maritza Duran from MDen Consulting Services. I am really excited about today's topic because it's a very important one. And for those of you who are joining me live, I'm streaming this on my Facebook group, The Dental Startup Journey, on my YouTube channel, The Dental Startup Journey as well. And hopefully, I will be also streaming it on my LinkedIn account. Again, it's a very important subject and a very important topic. I've taken the time to put down together 5 reasons why I've noticed from personal experience and from observation that dental practices are not profitable within 6 months from opening their doors. I'm going to break this down for you, and I hope that you are able to stick here until the end. And if you have any questions or anything, definitely post them on the chat. I'll be happy to answer those towards the end, and I will let some people join me. And before I get started, just to do a little bit of technical checklist here. If you're able to hear me and see me okay, let me know in the comments. Just throw in a thumbs up or something just to let me know that I can go ahead and continue. I'll wait to see. Sound okay and visual is okay. Just let me know in the comments, please. And I will get started. Okay, so let me see the comments. Okay, live comments are broadcasting there. Ready. Okay, so I have a few people here joining me live. Oh, sound is okay. Thank you so much, Tracy, for letting me know. Now, why did I decide to pick this topic and why you should stick to the end? Why is it so important for you to watch till the end? We have, as business owners, and I always come from the place, myself included, I am also a startup to a certain degree. I am the first business owner in my household to take the leap of faith of starting a business. However, I am in a world where now, after COVID, it's digital. I can manage my team virtually, and I don't have the operational expenses of a dental practice. And so dentists who decide to start their own practices have to take on massive amount of loans to get their education and then to start their practices. Is one of their biggest, if not the biggest, expense and purchase or investment in their careers. And a lot of my clients, we have a lot in common. They're also the very first in their households to start a family. I always say, those out there, God bless your souls, that your spouses own a practice before you started your own dental office, or, someone within your household or within your family, you grew up and had some exposure. You have leverage because you have been able to see from their experience what worked and what didn't work, and you can implement that into your business. So those are, precious souls, and all the credit to them. But myself and the doctors that I mostly serve are just like me. We're just getting started. We're trying to figure it out. But I have one advantage, and that is that I started my career working for a dentist in 1998. And over the course of 18 years, I helped that one dentist open 15 practices from scratch. And a lot of the list of mistakes that I see dentists make now that are keeping them from not being profitable is based on my experience being able to help my former employer launch these dental practices, and we didn't have a lot of the issues that I'm noticing now. So I'm going to go over my lists of mistakes that I see. And again, let me know in the comments what your experience is, where you're watching from. And if you're watching the replay, I would love for you at the end to let me know what your thoughts are, your takeaways, and if there's anything that stood out to you, so that I can elaborate on that more and put at your disposal some of the resources that I've been able to put together over the course of over 20 years that I've been doing this. And for those of you who are new to my network, my goal is to be able to make sure that I help your net worth increase. So my goal is to help my clients achieve $1 million within their first year as first time practice owners. And we are on the on track to being able to accomplish that for our clients. But there are systems and things that we have to roll up our sleeves and work on implementing to ensure that we're able to achieve those goals. And so, what is the very first thing of my list of 5 reasons why you are not profitable within the first 6 months as a dental startup? Well, the first one that I have on my list, and again, this is a list that there's so many different mistakes, but I try to compile them into just 5 so that it's digestible for my audience and for those of you listening in and watching this. And that is delegating the control of the outcome prematurely. I feel that as first time business owners, because we lack the experience and this is something that is new to us, we tend to outsource the outcome of the results that we want. We rely too much on those who are we perceive to be the experts. I was listening to Miley Cyrus's Flowers right before the live, and I was like, oh my gosh, like we really need to own and realize that we could buy ourselves flowers. So it's just a matter of understanding the steps and the things that you need to do in order to be able to take more ownership. So first up, delegating control. This is all about who you're going to trust in your business, right? Because that's a key aspect of you being able to launch your practice and be successful. So from choosing the right broker to selecting the right vendors and building, your team, it is important to have effective delegation, but that doesn't mean that you should lose control, right? It means that you have to empower the right people to contribute to your success. And what does that look like? I had a dentist who is opening her practice, and we are working towards running the demographic analysis and looking into potentially where we're actually opening the office. And although the broker's job is to help you find the right location, if you don't have clarity on what it is that you're looking for, the services long term that you're looking to be rendering, and again, I talked about this a lot, the patient that you want to serve, you're going to end up putting lipstick on a pig. And the broker's job is to find your location, but it is your responsibility to make sure that the location is in alignment with what your long-term goals are for you and your family. So delegating the outcome of allowing the broker in this instance to make those decisions, it's finding, excuses for yourself. You have to prepare yourself in order for the broker to do their job. And we work with our clients very closely to ensure that they are on the right track to accomplishing this goal. So the very first thing that I see dentists, and again, you're going to always hear me talk about intangibles and tangibles. What you do behind the scenes or before you launch your practice is kind of a like a domino effect. If you don't make the right decision on where to open and signing the lease and negotiating the deal, everything is going to have a trickle effect that is going to affect your ability to be profitable within those first crucial 6 months. I had a call from a dentist not too long ago. Actually, in fact, last month I do a webinar, or I started this year doing a webinar every month. So last month I did a webinar, and I had one of the attendees when I opened up the Q&A, and the very first thing that he said is, how do I grow my practice? Like, I've been open for 4 months, I don't have any patients, what can I do? So one of the things that we start doing intangibly is relying too much on the vendors and the team of experts that we're putting together pre-opening, right? And once we open our practice, or we're getting close to open our practice, all of those decisions lead to having to hire someone last minute. You don't have good systems to be able to do that, and that's part of my list of mistakes here. But then you outsource the responsibility to your front desk, who is a total, stranger to your cause, to your mission, to your values, and to your ultimate outcome, to what you want. And I hear this all the time. My front desk is not calling the patients, or I had a patient leave and not schedule their visit. taking ownership of the responsibility or the outcome. It's your responsibility. Those vendors, everyone that you interact with, from the broker to the vendors for your equipment, to the contractors, to the attorneys, everyone that is part of your support team is there temporarily. Your office, your baby, your responsibility. And so that is the very first mistake I see patients, dentists make, which is, I am new at this. I need you to tell me what to do and when to do it. And they do not take full ownership and responsibility for the outcome of the services. And then you start your practice pointing the finger at every direction. It was this person or that person or my front desk. It is may not have been your fault if you chose someone, but ultimately it's your problem and it's your responsibility. And so, what I am going to ask you to do to avoid making this mistake is to be stronger than your excuses that you're not, that you don't have the experience. I've been there. I've made tons of mistakes as a business owner, but I will tell you, I can easily spot it onto someone else. um and I've opened enough dental offices that I can do it with my eyes closed and have, like, I see all the blind spots. And I work with a lot of dentists who understand that if they are outsourcing the outcome to the vendors, they're just one of the multiple clients that it's part of their portfolio. Their dental practice, your 800, $1 million baby, to them is just another case, is just another account. For you, this is your first and only business, and your family relies on that. So please take ownership and do not delegate, control, or outsource the outcome, the results that you want, onto somebody else. Take full ownership and responsibility. The second mistake that I see dentists make is not understanding how to manage their spending. Okay. We have to talk about money, right? Because again, this is one of the biggest purchases in your lifetime. And so managing your spending is going to be fundamental for you to be able to make decisions later on that are going to help you be profitable faster. If you're not negotiating the lease and the terms of the rent, you're going to have those, escalations and all of the things for how much you're going to be paying affect your overhead. And so this is why it's important that you start paying attention early on. So without, and this is where a budget becomes so crucial and so important. So without a budget and negotiating skills and the discipline to avoid unnecessary expenses, you are setting yourself up for a financial health risk, right? Which is going to affect your ability to have enough working capital. That is going to affect the ability for you to hire the right team members that are in alignment with your business model and are going to be a good extension of yourself and the community that you want to serve, in, while you're competing with all of these other DSOs and companies that are already established, and you're offering someone the opportunity to grow with you. But if you don't have a goal and you don't have clarity on how you're going to be able to get them to grow with you, then you're going to break loose on your promise prematurely. And what I want everyone that works with me, everyone that is within my network, to be able to build that job security for their employees. And trust me, I know it's scary. The first time I had to set up payroll and add people to payroll was one of the scariest things that I could do as a first time business owner, knowing that, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to make it next month and the month after? They could be working for a larger company that offers them more benefits than I do. But it all comes down to the processes and the things that you do and what you prioritize. So that's why I am so big on my philosophy and how I structure the framework to work with my clients. So again, having a budget is extremely important. So you have to have a system to analyze the lease. You have to analyze your budget. I had a dentist that was working with us a few years back, And she loved the vendor, her rep, because she worked out as an associate. The vendor was helping her with making decisions about the equipment and so on and so forth. And through one of our meeting sessions, she said, Maritza, like, I really like this guy, and I feel like I need to purchase all the equipment from this vendor. And I said, you know what, doctor, I know how you feel, because we, especially, and this is true for us, I don't know if guys have this problem, but I do see this more with my female clients rather than my male dentist and my male clients. When we like someone, we want to work with that person, but we have to have the understanding that, again, we have to be anchored to what's important to us. And that is, this is your one shot, the one opportunity that you have. And you have to, when you take a shot at it, you have to make it the best that it can be. And so one of those things is, if you have a budget, the bank is trusting you to be able to finance your project. But you can go out there and overspend and purchase everything that they're telling you to purchase just because there are deals on it and so on and so forth, when you know it's not within your budget. So that is also a huge mistake. And again, I see this more often with my female dentist, where you feel like you really get along with a particular vendor, and you feel morally committed to spending your money out of that, lump sum with that one individual. And so for my client, I said, absolutely, we're going to get as much as we can, and we should get, but let's have a meeting and discuss how it's going to be, what's going to work better for you. And again, we do this because it's important that you understand that you're going back to taking control of the outcome. Yes, I like you, I want to work with you, but this is my situation, these are my goals, and I understand that for you, this is just another account. So what you may be losing from me, you're going to gain from someone else. I'm going to have other friends, I'm going to have other people looking, but you understand that this is my first and only practice, and I need to make informed and good decisions for my practice. So these are just, some of those strategies and things that are so crucial and important for you to take into consideration, that managing the spending early on is going to be one of the crucial steps on you being able to have a manageable um uh uh you know outcome, if you will, and be able to be profitable within those crucial 6 first months after opening. So managing your spending pre-opening, again, that's the intangible, and being able to put yourself or position yourself financially in a way that you're being compensated for the work that you are going to be performing in your dental practice, and optimize that so that there's no money being left or thrown out through the back door. Taking care of this early on is extremely important. So, managing your spending and making sure that you're not putting all of your money towards one thing, that it's crucial. Look at the big picture and know that if I spend here, and I had a dentist recently who we were having this conversation. I really want to get a different designer to help me with the space of my practice. And I said, okay, if that is a must for you, we're going to compromise on something else. We may not get we may have to downgrade to a used piece of equipment, or something's got to give. You have to compromise, you have to create a budget, and you have to manage it, and you have to be mindful of your spending. Again, I overspend a lot in my very first few years as a business owner, because you listen to all of the advice, everything, it's a write off. You can get a car, but if you're not making money, how are you going to be paying for these things? It is a deduction, it is a write off, given that you are making money. But if you're not making any money, and you're just having the expenditure because and there's no money to be deducted from, then you are going to be stepping on your own toes, and just hampering your own ability to grow, which then affects your ability to have a well balanced, household, if you will, with your kids. And that energy that gets passed down to your employees about your ability to really get this thing off the ground, because that's all they want to see. Like, if I am entrusting you in getting this business, when I have the option of working for this DSO that it's offering this, benefits and whatnot, just because I want to follow your culture and I want to be part of something new, you have a responsibility to me. This is employee hat me talking right now, right? So again, that's the second mistake I see a lot of dentists make, is not managing their spending. Number three, third reason why dentists are not able to be profitable within the first 6 months is lack of a strategy. And when I talk about lack of a strategy, I'm referring to, what do I do next, right? We tend to delegate, and this is true for, I love all of my marketing people out there that are supporting dentists and putting together their branding and launching their websites and so on and so forth. But again, dentists listening and watching, it is not their responsibility to make sure you have patients before your opening date so that you can cover those expenses and your employees have actual people to start working on, so that you can start paying, your break even number, patient zero, it's already in the works. And so I hear a lot of dentists make this mistake of saying, well, my website is not ready, or I am not yet, this is not ready, or that's not ready, so I must wait for this contingency or that contingency. Again, when I started opening dental practices, I started as a dental assistant in 1998. My first startup practice, the one that I managed and grew personally from, for over 10 years, was, I didn't do any digital marketing at the time, right? And so, Facebook was not a thing. That was in 2004. I got used to going into every location when I was given the opportunity to start this expansion for my former employer. I was actually guerrilla marketing, printing out materials, going into people's doors. Do not rely on just waiting for the digital, which is just one aspect of how you're going to gain visibility, to all the cards put in a place. You don't need to work on this. You don't need to wait for everybody to do their job and for them to get to your account and finish doing step one, that is part of their workflow, and step two. And I hear some marketing companies saying, oh, we're going to start kicking off 2 weeks before you open. It doesn't matter. You cannot wait for every other vendor out there to finish servicing your account for you to take action. It's again your responsibility, and it is in your best interest to get things up and running faster. So, what does that mean, right? So, what we have, for instance, for our clients is we have this roadmap of like, okay, what are the different areas of marketing that we need to be focusing on, and what can we do temporarily until we have that company X, Y, and Z fulfill or do the deliverables on the website, or until digital ads start kicking in, or all of these other things. Let's create a strategy for making sure that we have a VIP list, that we have people waiting online, waiting to be seen by you, which is extremely important. So this is one of those, the lack of strategy. Like, it is. And again, I this is why it's so important, when you're working with a consultant, you're able to save a lot of time, and time is money, because you're able to accelerate the growth of your practice. Because if you are waiting for you to have the CEO, for you to have the team, for the website people to deliver on the website, and for the digital marketing to start doing its part, to start actually taking your office off the ground, it's going to be 3, 4, 5 months into you actually having your certificate of occupancy and payroll kicking in and rent kicking in and all of your expenses kicking in. And again, that is what causes, and one of the reasons why you're not profitable within those crucial first 6 months. Okay. So, a lack of strategy for contingencies. If this person doesn't deliver this and the timeline is that, what are some of the things that I could be doing right now? Not putting and delegating control of the outcome just for one individual or one vendor. Lack of strategy is the reason number three. Now, reason number four, and I'm going to also bundle it in, is its lack of systems, right? I talked about delegating control. I talked about managing spending. We need to talk about ineffective patient management pre-opening, right? The intangibles we could and should. And again, to me, it's just so, it's part of my programming, because again, all of the dental offices that I was helping launch for my former employer while I was, a regional manager, we weren't like a website and things like that. It's something that we worked on later on. So it's not something that was a must before we started. Like, we would just hands on roll up our sleeves and go knocking on people's doors, printing materials, and building relationships, networking, connecting with people. And that's how we grew our practices. And we had people, we were doing this while construction was ongoing. So for that, you need systems. Like, how do you manage the patient interactions? How do you nurture them? How do you have conversations with them if your phone system is not open? And again, a lot of these VoIP systems, you can actually have access. And this is one of the things, we have our clients that use Mango and they use other companies, and we have access to their VoIP system. And as we're working and drafting that VIP list to ensure that there are patients and we're busy pre-opening, there is a system that we put in place to be able to allow us to be able to do that. And so I encourage you to consider that as well, that if you lack the systems on how to, like, if you're going to be receiving emails and your CRM is not ready, you could use Google your Gmail, and create a template of how to respond to that email, like a welcome email thanking them for reaching out, and create like a nurturing campaign from the email account that it's linked to that. You can develop systems for these things to be able to ensure that you are going to maximize and expedite the time for you to be profitable, so that within those first 6 months, you're able to break even, you're able to quit your associate position, and your team that you're interviewing and hiring and saying, oh, by 6 months, we'll evaluate how you're doing, because I'm able to only start you at this salary. But as the office grows, you're going to grow with me, to maintain your promises. This is extremely important. So lack of systems is one of those reasons. And I'm really excited that we're able to help our clients develop these systems, and they're proven to help. And we're really grateful for that, and excited for their success. And reason number 5, to wrap up for today, is procrastination. I know this from experience. We tend to do this, and myself included. When I do this, I will feel ready to do that. And when this person gives me this, I'm going to be ready to do that. I cannot talk to the patients until I hire a team, and so on and so forth. Those are, again, coming back to the first one, excuses. So, what I want all of us to do is shift our mindset to understand what the outcome that we want. If you look at what your 6 months are going to look like and what you want it to look like, you're going to make the decisions now pre-opening that is going to get you much closer to getting to that outcome. Okay? Because again, we feel like, okay, I'm under construction, and we tend to feel comfortable with when I'm ready. But I want you to shift your mindset to understand, if you procrastinate, you're going to be delaying the gratification, not only for you to see that you are able to make it, but again, your team, your relatives, and all of the people that in the community that is out there. Imagine this: you procrastinate, you wait until everything is ready. A lot of your patients will by then have gone to the dentists because they didn't know you were planning of opening your practice, and you didn't have the systems in place to connect with them, to nurture them, and give them the promise that, if unless it's an emergency, we would love to see you, and create, a game plan for how you're going to maintain that relationship until you're, physically able to treat them in the office. So again, it comes down to, I should say this should have been the first and only reason, but I just wanted to outline some of those other ones. Procrastination and just waiting for the right time and the right moment, it's a disservice to ourselves and to all of the work that we put into our businesses, and those who support us, our families, our relatives, our team that relies on us growing and being successful, for them to feel like they're also having a piece of the pie and are part of the growth. And also those clients or those patients that ultimately we've taken the leap of faith to serve, right? We're doing a disservice to them by procrastinating on the to-dos, or the mindset of, I need this person to help me do this or to help me do that. So just, to recap, I think that shifting your mindset and taking ownership of our results, and I'm talking including myself, and and it's creating and following proven systems. It's, and taking proactive steps to everything that we're doing as business owners are essential steps for us to be able to turn our dental office into a profitable venture. At the end of the day, you're a clinician, but once you decide to take the leap of faith and start a business, you're also a business owner. And business is there for three reasons: to add value, to serve, and to make money. So if you're not preparing yourself to do those three things, then you're setting yourself up for failure. I think that, again, I want to say this. I was watching the Miley Cyrus, and listening to Flowers, and how excited she was as she was receiving her award. And I want to be able to say, like, we could buy ourselves flowers and write our name on the sand. So write your name on the sand. If you decide to start your own practice, it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to be tears and sweat and a lot of, challenges along the way, but the reward will be yours. And write your own story, write your own blueprint for success. Do not let these, reasons hold you back from achieving your goals and your dream of practice ownership. If anybody has any questions or anything, just let me know in the comments. I am happy to elaborate more on anything. And again, I had this one dentist who was 4 months into his practice, and I hope he's watching and that he'll reach out to me again so that I can give him free advice and tools and resources to help them turn things around. But my goal is to help those of you who are in the process or thinking about starting, take kind of like put all your ducks in a row and make sure that you do it successfully so that you can be both profitable and fulfilled as a first-time practice owner. So if you guys don't have any other questions or comments for me at this time, I will let you go. And just so you know, on Tuesday the 13th, I'm going to be interviewing or co-hosting a webinar that is going to be all about how to bring back money into your dental practices through the research and development, tax strategies, and things with a financial expert. So I would love for everyone that has an established practice to be able to join us. We'll leave the details and we'll publish it, so you'll be able to find out more about that. And for those who are, again, in the process of starting your practices, so that, again, you can plan ahead. And I always end my lives with success is where planning and opportunity meet. We have been giving such an amazing opportunity to start a business. We have to plan accordingly in order for it to become successful. Until next time, guys, it's been a pleasure. And thank you for all of you who stayed till the end watching me and listening to me. I really appreciate you. Bye-bye for now.